and welcome to MGP561. I'm Kev, and with me as ever, the Sheepdog, Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Right, you've got about 12 minutes of me talking before I have to put my air conditioning back on because it's too hot. It's absolutely ridiculous. I sat down in this room to start this podcast and it was 32 degrees. I put the air conditioning on, got it down to 24, but now the clock is ticking and the thermometer is rising, and you don't want to hear what I sound like with the air conditioning on. So if you've got anything you need me to do a wisecracking response to, now is your opportunity. Otherwise, I can spend a few minutes telling you I've not played any games. It's up to you. It's a choose your own adventure podcast today, boys and girls. Who would like to choose a direction?
Just for the listeners' benefit, we should mention this, that Kev's actually a snowman, and he means 30 degrees Fahrenheit in his room. He needs it to be icy cold at all times. And
Nobody in the world knows what 30 degrees Fahrenheit is. Fahrenheit's
minus
for morons.
1.11 degrees Celsius, according to the little search I did, so I could crack this joke.
Fahrenheit's for morons. If you like Fahrenheit, you're a moron. There you go. I'll open up with that. There's wisecrack number one. Who wants another one? I'm locked and loaded, ready to insult and crack wise in equal measure.
You've offended the Americans. Anyone else you want to offend?
Usually if I get the Americans riled up, that's usually considered quite productive. I don't know. Should we laugh at Scotland being kicked out of the Euros? That's quite funny.
No.
It wasn't that funny. It was expected.
Yeah, that's what makes it funny.
And the day after this podcast comes out, England will be the same way.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not tempting fate. That's just like pointing out the
No,
obvious.
England are going to win the Euros, and everyone's going to have to eat their words. We're playing badly enough to win it.
Because I said that I said Portugal. Sorry, easy to get them mixed up. Portugal, all their luck would run out, and Georgia would beat them, and then it obviously happened. And I also, in that same conversation, was saying England are going to win the World Cup playing football that people whinge about the entire tournament, and then they're going to have to be like, okay, we won, but none of us feel good about it, and that's going to be delicious to watch. And I think you're right, Kevin.
I usually am. I am very wise.
Because like Southgate, I'm not to go into a football podcast, but he's the kind of man who looks at why we didn't do well before and goes, well, let's not do that mistake again. And so they're obviously playing with that in mind. But he also doesn't want to say, oh, yeah, we fixed that gaping hole I discovered in the team. That's how it feels to me. He's just saying, well, we're going to play the way we play. And that is thinking about it and finishing top of the group their way. We'll see. I reckon You're probably right.
Exactly. We're going to win the Euros and we're going to have a big old celebration party. I'm going to buy an open top bus and just kind of drive it around the place, waving my little Lego trophy that I built the other day around to celebrate being the greatest football people around. And it's going to be lovely.
We need to go through to the next round at least, because I happen to be in Switzerland next week at the same time that we could, in theory, be playing Switzerland, because they have Italy in the other group, sorry. And if we both win, it's England versus Switzerland. Although, to be fair, there's lots of Italian people where we're staying as well, apparently. I've learned a lot about Switzerland this past week. And
you finally learned that it's different to Sweden.
I mean, I'm still not 100% sure that I'm going to Switzerland over Sweden.
Are you going to Switzerland?
Basel we're going to, so that's Switzerland.
But why?
He wants some perch, probably.
Oh, okay.
Everyone knows the best thing about Switzerland is the perch.
Is that where you had perch, is it? Okay.
That's where I had perch. Love perch.
Will you eat perch?
Well, no, I'm a veggie, but I'll...
But you could be a pescatarian.
You could lick it.
I'm not a Rastafarian or whatever you just said.
Just lick the perch and see what it tastes like. You don't need to swallow it, just lick it. Vegetarians can lick a fish, surely.
You can eat fish if
as long as it's alive. Like, if I sort of caught it in a net and get out, we are supposed to be floating down the Rhine.
I'm not suggesting you kill it, but if you see a dead fish lying around, I reckon you can lick it and still be a vegetarian. It's to do with what you digest, not to do with what you lick, surely.
Well, I'm going to be floating down the Rhine if the floodings allow for it to happen. Apparently, it was flooding recently. So while I'm in the Rhine, I'll just lick any fish that passes me by, shall I?
Yeah, dead or alive. Test your theory. And then afterwards, be like, am I still a vegetarian? Yeah, I am. And then you'll know that Kev was right all along.
Yeah, but if I get to decide, then I could just eat steaks and say the same thing.
Of course you get to decide. No one else gets to decide what the terms of being a vegetarian are. You decide. You could eat steak and call yourself a vegetarian.
I'm not
Let's
gonna,
face
but
it,
you're right.
you spend more of your time not eating steak than you do eating steak, so your heart's in the right place.
Yeah, but
See,
it's also
logic.
several times too big because of all the meat I was eating.
I don't see how a muscle can get too big. That's why I'm such a swole gentleman.
If you're addicted to the gym, that's all that steroid abuse you've been doing as well. That's not good for you, sir.
Nah, it's fine. Does you the world of good. I guess if we are talking about football and video games and trying to find a way to combine the two, we could mention the fact that we've had Football Manager 2025 announcement this week. Sort of. We've had a semi announcement. They've put out a blog post detailing all the things that are not going to be in the game that are in the current one. As I guess damage limitation. I think the official Sports Interactive line is it's transparency is what they're going for. That's their big buzzword at the moment, transparency. Their transparent damage limitation. It's not gone down very well. There's lots of people very, very cross that touchline shouts have been removed, despite the fact the blog post basically confirms they've never actually done anything. People are still cross that they're not going to be there, which I find absolutely superb. Oh, we're removing this feature that never really did anything. You can't remove that. I need it, but it never really did anything. Yeah, but the amount of times I saw the word disgrace being used on Twitter yesterday and in my own YouTube comments was fantastic. People can't read clearly. They're also removing a feature known as the chalkboard, which nobody remembers ever being in the game. So chalkboard, you will be missed. And they're removing a few of the game modes that nobody plays. But we did get a bit of a sneaky first sort of look at what the new user interface is going to be like. And that upset all the old grumpuses as well, because they're basically making an attempt, as it is 2024 and it's a multi-platform game, to make it look the same across platforms. So it's got very much of a touchscreen, mobile-looking user interface around it that will work just as well on a PC, a console, a handheld, a touchscreen, which I think is exactly the direction they should have gone. For me, from a content creator's perspective, it's absolutely ideal because the amount of views that I miss out on, because the vast majority of the players now are console players, because that's where the big growth has been over the last few years, and they find my videos and like, oh, this is on PC. I don't really get what's going on because it's so different, and then they just leave. Whereas if it looks the same, it doesn't need to be the same. But if it looks the same and people can sort of track what's going on, then theoretically I should be getting a second pair of gold shoes around about Christmas time, which would be delicious. So I'm all in favour of it, but it really does demonstrate. Sometimes I forget just how old the user base of Football Manager is. Which is why it's such an appropriate game to discuss on the Old Farts Gaming Podcast or whatever this is called.
Yeah, to justify it every week. We're used to you now. The thing they said about the shouts, it wasn't that they didn't work. It was that they only kicked in after the ball had gone out of play.
Yeah, so you never saw them do anything in the highlight you were watching. They only worked after the highlight ended.
Yeah, so
unless you had back-to-back highlights, literally nothing happened. By and large, kind of nothing really ever happened. They didn't really do anything.
To be fair, yeah. I was going to say, well, what about the extended highlights where it does go out for a throw and stuff? But no, you're right. Unless you're watching the whole game, you're basically not getting it. Because I was thinking to myself, it definitely has a thing where people get annoyed if you say the wrong thing and stuff like that during the games. If you criticize them,
but even that, it's just a face icon. It's a smiley face or a sad face.
Yeah, but they tend to play worse if you've annoyed them.
Are people checking the code to see if that does anything? I'm not sure that it does. It's certainly not something I pay any attention to whatsoever, and I do all right. I'm
sure, but you can fire them up
greatest
sometimes.
Football Manager player in history.
I find if I'm demanding it and they look a bit fired up, then sometimes they can score or their ratings go up from whatever they were to a better amount.
Sometimes they don't, Mr. Confirmation Bias.
No, sure, of course.
You're only remembering the times it felt like it had an impact. I've been saying for years, I am convinced, as Mr. plays 2,000 hours of this game a year, I am convinced they do nothing, and I'm happy to state it here and now on the podcast.
Oh, yeah,
I only click those buttons when I'm creating content. On the in-between bits that nobody sees, I don't bother touching them because I'm convinced they don't do anything. I only do it in the videos because if I don't, people moan that I'm not playing the game properly. But I only do it when they're watching.
I just assumed a lot of this stuff didn't always work because it wouldn't in real life. If every time you shouted, "Go on, mate, do better," from the side of a pitch in a real game, they scored, you'd all just be shouting it all game, wouldn't you? So it has to not work all the time. But I appreciate that it's really hard to quantify whether that's just random dice rolling happening or whether that's nothing happening. I feel like it would be mad for them to have left a thing in there that was just a button connected to nothing.
Well,
Surely.
like I said on Twitter, it's the Football Manager equivalent of the closed door button in a lift. It's just there to make the player feel like they're doing something. If I
Closed
press this, I'm
door button
doing
does
something.
work.
It doesn't. The door was going to close anyway. It doesn't make it close any quicker.
It does, because
Just-
I've tried to press the door open button to keep the door open for longer for people and accidentally close the door on people many times.
The door was going to close then anyway.
I don't think so.
I'm convinced that button does nothing. It's not even connected.
I feel like we need to do some lift tests now.
And then we'll know the truth about Football Manager.
Yeah, up for that.
But I mean, bottom line, it is they have come out and said the reason they're removing it is because it didn't. They've confirmed it certainly didn't work how they wanted it to work. So they've removed a feature that didn't work properly, and because people are numbskulls, they've gone nuts about it. So it's certainly the big reassuring takeaway I've taken from all of it is this is the bit they've decided to do the June damage limitation on. They haven't shown us anything of the new match engine, the new graphics or anything like that. They're saving that until September when the pre-orders are open and when they're announcing the release date of the game. So if I was working in marketing at Sports Interactive, I would be showing the bits that are going to upset people the most now. So theoretically, the bits that they've got ready to show us in September are going to drive us towards doing the pre-orders that will then be open. I think now is damage limitation. Let people be angry now. Forget they were angry by the time it actually makes a difference. And then they see the pretty new graphics and order the game off the back of it. If the opposite is true, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, we're going to be in for a rough year. But I hope that's the thinking behind it. Obviously, they can't come out and say that, but I hope that's the thinking behind it. And when we do see the shiny new graphics engine and the new user interface actually running in game and see how it interacts and what the flow through the screens is like and how it's going to be more intuitive theoretically, hopefully we'll get a look at it then and be like, okay, yeah, this is awesome. Pre-order ahoy, let's all have another 20 years of Football Manager, please and thank you. So I'm hoping that was the thought process.
It did pop into my head that as you were saying this is what marketing would do, I was thinking they could also be putting this out so that people like you go, you lot always moan all the time about every update, so that then when they release the next one and everyone's moaning, you have to then be like, you're moaning again, even though you want to join them, but now you feel like you can't because you made a big stance of being the anti-moaner. So
I've been very vocal this year about the bits that have been wrong with the game. I've got my current reputation is as the moany guy because I've had the stupid alien bug in my game all year. So I've not stopped moaning about FM24. My favourite thing about the announcements that we've seen is there doesn't seem to be any aliens in it, which is fantastic from my point of view. But on top of all that, they've also announced the Football Manager World Cup, which is taking place in end of August, end of August, early September in Liverpool. Early Liverpool.
Are you taking part, I'm assuming, then?
I don't know that I am. I'd like to think I am. I would be flabbergasted if I'm not, but they haven't asked me to yet. So yeah, if they don't have the 7-time Streamer Showdown winner, former world #1 before he retired, most successful Football Manager PvP player, world record holder Lelujo representing England in their World Cup Invitational, then it isn't going to do very well, is it? You would think they would fill it up with content creators so people were actually interested, because Football Manager has been down the esports route before. They did that thing at Insomnia a few years ago that I played in, the World Esports Championship, that because there wasn't they didn't go at it from a content creator perspective. They went at it from an esports perspective, put up a big cash prize, and nobody cared and nobody watched it, and it kind of just went away. So they've got the big cash prize. They're using the word esports. If they just get 24 people nobody's ever heard of to just play Football Manager and think that's going to be enough to interest people, they weren't paying attention to the Streamer Showdown for the 3 years that we were doing that. The only way people want to watch competitive Football Manager is if it's basically WWE, but with football video games instead of hitting people with chairs. But
There was some
we'll see if they've learned anything. There was a little bit of chair hitting, but not as much as that you would get in the wrestling.
I am thinking they also might just invite a bunch of FIFA players from TikTok to do it and have it both ways.
I still don't think that would work. I don't think the Football Manager audience would watch. I don't think the esports audience want to watch Football Manager. I think they'd give it 5 seconds, be like, they're not even controlling the players, and stop. The only hope is that you try and get into the already big enough to support a tournament like this Football Manager content audience. And the way to do that is through those creators. But we'll see. I mean, that might be the plan. I might have an email drop in my inbox on Monday morning with details of my Liverpool hotel. To be honest, rather than playing in it, I'd quite like to go on there and be Roy Keane on the coverage. I want my little 7-time Streamer
You're
Showdown
not aggressive
champion,
enough to be
lower
Roy
third.
Keane.
Oh, I am when I'm in Streamer Showdown mode.
Mm,
In the last showdown we did, I had a massive heel turn. I am a monster in competitive Football Manager at the moment. I am.
you're more
I
like,
am
what's
a
his name? He
cruel
winds
monster.
up Keane all the time.
Who?
Forgotten his
Exactly.
name. I'm drawing a
Exactly.
blank.
You don't even know who he is. That's why I'm Roy Keane.
I've literally drawn a blank. What is his name? He sits next to
see.
Keane and winds him up like all commentary.
There you go. See, that's why I'm Roy Keane, because I'm the one people have heard of.
No, you're the annoying little chirpy one who cracks all the jokes. I've drawn a blank on you. Used to play
Nah.
for City.
You
Oh,
know
God,
that.
my
Micah
brain's gone.
Richards?
Huh?
Is it Micah Richards?
Yeah, that is him.
He's
isn't it,
on the
Michael?
other channel.
No, he sits next to Keane at Sky.
We don't all watch Sky, Mr. Moneybags. We watch the Euros. That's
I don't
what.
pay for Sky. I get my in-laws Sky Go through my Xbox.
Well, that's it. I'm contacting Sky and getting you arrested for stealing content.
Come at
You're
me.
taking money directly out of Roy Keane's pocket.
Good.
She's
That's
inadvertently your pocket.
crooked. He's
Yeah.
horrible brute, Roy Keane. He needs to shut his mouth.
Yeah, well, that's the role I want to play in Liverpool. I just want to talk about how everybody's rubbish and I'd do it better. But when they actually say, would you want to put your money where your mouth is, Kev? No, I'm retired. But I would do it better. I am better than all of these lot, but I refuse to prove it. That would be my party line. Because, how far can you really ride the luck in a game that's primarily random number generation?
Yeah, no, you're true.
I had a lovely run. I won more showdowns. I won more than half the showdowns I ever played in. There is very little chance of me ever winning another Football Manager tournament if chance is actually a thing, because I don't believe there's very much skill involved.
The moment it becomes a big, money pot in front of a load of people on a big stage, you're suddenly going to become Mr. 4th place or something, aren't you?
Exactly. I want to maintain my amateur status. All the prize money I ever won in those, I donated to charity. I've maintained my amateur status for when it hits the Olympics. I'll be able to play. I don't want to go pro. I don't need to go pro. I'm
The Olympics.
yeah. I want to be playing Football Manager in the Olympics as an amateur.
You could have been playing volleyball in the Olympics or releasing that film that I tried to pitch at you while we were walking around Spain.
Right. On that note, let's move on and talk about some kind of other video games, because I don't want to know about your volleyball film again. This is why we don't travel places anymore. You ruined it on that walk.
All I
Best thing
actually did was describe
Best
a
thing
Rocky
from
film.
died because of you.
I
Telling
was
me
just-
about your stupid
I was
volleyball
just
Rocky film.
telling you the plot of Rocky, but replacing it with volleyball. It wasn't actually a pitch. From my stuff, I mean, game wise, like as in games I've actually played on a computer.
Thank you for the definition.
No, you'll see what I'm getting at in a minute. I've played more of Midnight Suns. I feel really weird because I'm enjoying it a lot, but there's not much I can really say beyond it's a fun Marvel story. If you're into Marvel stuff, go and play it. If you haven't already, it's great. I'm really enjoying it. It's just fun. It's good. Sometimes I'm rubbish at it. Sometimes I'm good at it. I didn't initially like the card pulling stuff on it, and now I quite like it. And I'm thinking if they do another XCOM game, I don't remember XCOM having the card pulling stuff in it.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, and I'm thinking I wouldn't mind that being in a future one.
It won't ever be in it.
Why? Is it because it's a specific Marvel
Because
thing?
it wasn't overly. It wasn't received well, and if you put it into a beloved franchise like XCOM, I think there'll be people flipping tables.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I feel like they'll need to tweak it slightly, but actually, it grew on me eventually. And I think this game's a bit like that. I don't think this game was very heavily well received, and I suddenly, basically,
it was critically received well, yeah, but I just don't think.
Yeah, I was
many
following.
people bought it.
I can't remember her name. There's a lady on Twitter who writes the well, she writes for Marvel. She's just written an X-Men run, and she's now working on a Superman run for DC. And she was the one who randomly mentioned she was playing Midnight Suns and that it had consumed her days and it was really better than she was expecting, and it's a really good story and she loves it and this, that, and the other. And I thought, oh, I played a few hours of that and then I stopped. So that's what made me fire it up. And she's bang on. Like, it is just really good. Part of me's like wondering if it's one of those where they've stealthily added in an update in the background and I've just not realized and that's made it good or something. But I'm enjoying it. It's fun and just wandering around, even just checking stuff out. And I love the whole. It's one of these where I feel like the cinematic universe could have done with something like this, where basically, because they're all the characters are stationed out of this house while there's this whole thing going on in the story. You've got like Doctor Strange and Tony Stark in the basement. Half of it's all like magic. There's a magic portal thing with an inferno in it that you can throw items into, and he'll run a spell that will turn them into items you can use. But there's also Tony Stark's lab with his Iron Man suit, and he's put chemicals in here, and it'll make you scientific, like medicine or whatever. And they're trying to exist next to each other in this lab area. And then you've got like Captain Marvel upstairs with her big operation-based tech set up on the phone to Bruce Banner and all of that. And yeah, there's just different people wandering around. Ghost Rider's just like in the other room, sat by the fireplace reading a book, while Blade's just sat at the bar having a drink. And yeah, it's cool how they. I mean, where I got to about a week and a half ago when I was playing, it was like we helped Spider-Man against Venom, and then we invited him to come stay with us at the house, and then we were trying to convince him to reveal his identity, and we had to get him to like us enough to do so. And there's just little bits like that as you go, and you're doing the missions and that, but you're also saying to him, like, come on, let's be friends, let's work together. And Agatha's wandering around as a ghost at the moment and stuff like that. It's just a cool premise. It's a nice, like, as I say, they never really did that with a film where they were all kind of having to exist in a base and almost, I can't remember if they're hiding exactly. Maybe they are, but you have to go through like a special magic portal to get in and out of where the house is, so it's protected by magic or whatever. So they must be hiding to an extent. I've just forgotten that point. But yeah, it's cool. I'd love to. If someone said to me, "There's a comic of this," you could just read that instead. I would probably bomb through the comic. The game is fun, but the story, I just want to get through it all. I'd love to just read it all. For the fun. What? As in, it's just the comic, not the game. Like, as in the same story.
There's the whole Midnight Suns run of Marvel, though.
No, but what I'm saying is, yeah, I get what you're saying, that there is a Midnight Suns is a whole thing.
I don't know.
What I'm saying is the plot of this specific game. Is there a comic of just this plot, or
what, like more like what's it called? The
Injustice had that.
The Injustice, yeah.
Even then, to be fair, the game didn't really just follow it. The comics to Injustice were really good. I'd recommend.
Well, it's because it got a bit of a following, and they kind of let it run on from beyond the games, I think, from what I can remember.
Do you know what? I'm not sure I ever finished those comics. They were great. I'm suddenly thinking to myself, there might be a whole series out there that I need to go and finish.
I think there might be I think there probably is something. I don't know how long it would be, but I bet I wouldn't put it past them actually putting a short run of something out in promotion for this actual game. So it might be in the last 2 years maybe. It might be something.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I'm enjoying the game a lot, so I won't ruin it by, spoiling myself by reading the pile of books. But I'd definitely go back and read it through just to straighten it out in my head. So what I meant before when I said, computer games that I've installed on the machine and blah, 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 the reason I said it like that was because the thing that I've been really hyping about this week is, and I know I've talked about going on here again a few times over the year, and its whole revival thing that, outside of me talking about it on the podcast, I imagine literally no one's heard this mentioned anywhere, but it is having a revival. So I've been hammering Neopets still as I'm going along. And one of the things that got me intrigued about it earlier in the year, or at the start of last year, whatever it was, I was just trying to pull up the timeline. It was October last year, so almost a year ago. They'd started pushing it online that it was coming back and it was a new big thing and new owners, and they're going to invest in it, they're going to do more things. And they kicked that off by doing their like little Halloween events and their festivals, and they always have an advent calendar in December where every day you log in and you get an item. And so I was taking part in all of that. But what they were doing along the way was they kept having these little events happen, these little bits where out of nowhere, things would start turning grey, or there'd be like a portal would open and someone would say something on a page if you visited that web page. And you'd just be going about your normal kind of daily stuff on there, and suddenly there'd just be something weird, and you'd be like, what was that? And then people would debate about it on Reddit, or there's a Discord that I joined recently. And yeah, they've been doing that throughout all of December, January, March, April, more and more kind of build up. And then it was almost bizarre actually, because I was sat there the other day and I happened to see they had a Discord, and I was like, oh, I don't know why I joined that. I'm on Discord, I do stuff on there. And I joined it, and literally someone was saying, oh, there might be an update in 3 minutes. And I looked at the time, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, 3 minutes to 6, there's an update coming out. And it just coincidentally happened to be that they launched this new event called The Void Within. And it's had these like daily little kind of comic things pop up on there where you kind of read the plot through, and there's all the different characters that have been on the site since its 25-year-old conception. There's been 6 chapters so far where they give you items each time you go on it, but they're building up to this like site-wide event. The thing that kind of kicked off yesterday was that there's these weird void energy blobs dotted around the world, and when you go to certain places on the map, they're there and you can collect them up, and the characters are researching what they are. And there's this like community goal thing where they want us to get 10 million during the event, and it's at like, I don't know, 500,000 at the moment because it's only been out barely 24 hours. But it's it's all kicking off with these little like, what's going on, what's this plot, what's happening, what's investigate. And I've read a little bit about what they've said's coming up, and there's apparently going to be a big battle event where if you've got pets that are strong enough, you can take part in the battle events where you're basically doing Pokemon battles with them, and you'll get points for doing them. But if you've got pets that are not strong enough, so I've got 4 pets, one of them's really strong and the other 3 are complete like level 1 nothings, and the 3 of them I can put into the hospital and they can help all of the injured and battered characters. And probably I'm assuming your character probably gets beaten up and sent there, and they'll help heal, and they'll get points for that. So you get to like assign people to different roles and just take part in this site-wide event. And everyone seems quite hyped about it because the people that bought the website and have put the kind of made it their mission to resurrect it and bring it back and slowly but surely build on it. They've brought out another app I've forgotten the name of. I haven't played it yet, so if I play it, I'll review it. But they brought out an app recently that people can play separate. They've added some new login thing on here that gives you an account that means it can work across anything they release. And I think their plan is to put the whole site on an app, but they've like listed out a whole list of things you can buy with the points you get from this event. And it's like, if you get to 60,000 points, you get the ultimate trophy, but there's all these different trophies between there, depending on where you fall. It looks very involved. I think we have a nice, fun month or so. I don't know how long this actually ends up being, but yeah, I think it'd be fun to just click away on that. So I don't think many people did jump on it when I was saying it's back, but if anyone ever did play in any of the old events, or I always found the events after they'd happened when I was younger. So I'm quite excited at the fact that I get to be during, I was at an event the day it started before it had ever been put online and stuff. For me, that was cool. But this Void Within event kicked off now, and it's got a lot of buzz about it online. So check it out if you ever were into Neopets, or if you just like random little worlds of clicking around playing games. There's just go and have a look at it. There's tons of stuff to do on there, and the little plot bits are nice to just read. I tend to fire it up at the start of my lunch break, do all my daily bits on there. Takes you about 15-20 minutes. I check whether there's any news and I log off, and it's just a daily little check-in. Once they make it an app, it'll be easier to do that on the toilet instead. But at the moment, it's just load it up on my browser and have a click around. And yeah, I'm very much enjoying it. And that's what I've been spending most of my time doing. So you two can talk about your days now.
Okay.
Well, there we go. There's one of them.
I'm here, definitely.
I'm here.
There
I'm
we
here.
go. Excellent.
I thought I pressed it and I was going, yes, I'm here, and then no one was saying anything. I was like, well, what's happening? Yes, I am here now.
Would you like to talk
tuned
I was
about
in.
like, oh
video
no, they've all
games?
gone to sleep.
I
go on.
have played one game, just
One?
because it's been too hot. Yeah. So I have reinstalled. So last week I was playing Dying Light 2. But after the kerfuffle and the download, I just could not be bothered with it anymore. So I'm not playing that anymore. I've restarted. Now I was 21 hours in, but I completely forgotten. Hold on, wait. I completely forgotten what I was doing. Like, I was playing it, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I restarted Assassin's Creed Mirage. And I'm just playing that because it came out at some point last year. Again, it came out silly season, and it comes out, you play it for a bit, then something else comes out, and then you have to play that, and it's just that kind of thing. So I've gone back to that, and this time I'm enjoying it more, because I'm just giving it its time. So you play as a guy. He plays Bazim, I think his name is, who is in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but he's like a side character. He's not really there for much of the. Like, he's there, but he's not like there. He's just there, over there, in that tent, doing his thing. He teaches you how to do your eagle dive, and I think that's about it. And you go and take him some books now and again. Mm-hmm. So it's not in it. So this is his backstory, like how he got started. Like, you start before he is an assassin, and you're trying to take down the order of the bad people in the Assassin's Creed franchise. I don't quite know what they want, like the Apple of Eden and all these gizmos to basically like control the world, and they use obviously the Animus, I believe it's called, to go through the backstory of people and find these items and find out where they're hidden and then bring them together and be magical. I think that's what I get from it. So yes, I've been playing that. I am about 10 hours in.
What?
Well, I've only played it for...
I thought you might have got the hang of it and gone back to your old save.
Oh no, I'm not. No, because it's one of the things. It will erase your save.
Oh, you got one save and that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a shame.
It's one of them DBs, which is fine. Like, I went into it. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like, nah, let's just start again. It's like 21 hours isn't that long for me for a game, especially Assassin's Creed game. But I think this one is going to be very short. I don't think it's going to be very like a long game. The map is tiny. It's not like you get the map with, like, I got not the standard but like the upgraded one, and I got the map of Baghdad, and it is tiny. It's not big, or like quarter of it is just desert. Okay. If I'm honest.
Main story is 15 hours.
Yep.
Main plus extra is 22 hours.
Yep.
Completion is 29.
Yeah, not a big game.
So compared to the previous, Valhalla, Odyssey was the worst offender for bloat in the game and the amount of stuff in the game. But you could spend, I think the complete just main story in Odyssey was like 80 hours. And then it's like 120, 140 hours for main and extra and stuff like that. It's like insane. And then you got the DLC stacked on top of that. I don't think there's any DLC for the Mirage.
I've not seen any. Like, it only came out.
This was a DLC, wasn't it? It was a DLC for Valhalla in it originally. So.
That makes sense. Yeah, like you've got him already in Valhalla, but like I said, like you just said, it's not. Oh gosh, it's not a very good, not very good, not a very long game. So I'm just going around opening the synchronization points, doing the side quests. Like, it is enjoyable, like, because you don't have a bow in this game. I love a bow in my Assassin's Creed days. So I've been using like knives, and that's fun to get headshots with knives, because they're lethal. And now I've got, like, I've powered them up, so when you hit someone in the head, they just disappear. So like when the guards are going around, they won't see them on the floor and like get all out of place with themselves. So that's when, like, you've got all your like stealth kind of weapons, so it's not all about getting behind someone and smacking them in the head with a knife. You can do it from afar. You can do it silently, and I like it. Like I like there's the bow was overpowered at sometimes. Like you could get people from so far away, and having an arrow through the head is just brutal. Like, yeah, but yeah, I'm just doing that. They're just trying to you've got, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's like 7 like order people in the game, and you got to go and like take them down. So like the people in the animus place, I forget what they're called, can't find whatever. Basically, it's a gold disc. Like you find it within like the first hour of the game. It's a gold disc that has a projection in it, and I
That's right. Yeah. I remember
no,
now.
I had no idea what was going on there, but it was in a different language. But yeah, it's just a more Assassin's Creed, well, less brutal Assassin's Creed, but like you find letters that are going, we're now using dual blades and we're taking down 2 people at once with our blades, and I'm like, yes, that's what that's what they're trying to do in that era, and like you get that through the games later on in the game series. But I'm excited. It's because I've seen the new one and I desperately want it, because I'm a hype train person, and I like when I see things, I'm like, oh, I want that, and I need to go and play some of that. So I think that's coming out this year. I hope it is, because it does look great.
November?
Well, that's good
October?
for me.
I can't remember. It's one of them.
I don't get to see Kevin in them months, so I can just get in my little comfy chair and just go back into, like, I don't even know where it's set, because is it Japan? Like,
Where? The new one? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So I'm going from Baghdad. Is Baghdad still a place? Is it? I'm not sure, but that's where I am at the moment.
I think so.
And I'm just, it's not very big. It like, pick it up in a sale. Like, you're not missing anything. I don't think, because like you said, it is practically a DLC. Because like you said, in Valhalla, DLCs were like 30 hours long. Some of them, they were really big. So I'm just playing that, and then yesterday I got Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. I have not played it, because I'm going to take it away with me in a week or so to play it again. I've bought this twice. Not the HD one, like the old version. I don't know when the old one came out. Like, it's been out before, but now it's been HD'd up.
It was on the 3DS originally.
Don't even lie. That can't be right.
That's what it was. It was the Dark Moon. That's the original title of the game. Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon. Or something like Dark of the Moon. Something like that. And it originally came out on 3DS. It would have been around...
Yeah.
I want to say maybe around...
Really?
2013, 14 maybe.
Wow, that's...
Maybe 15.
I thought it was out on the Switch last.
No.
Wow.
I think last year... I want to say last year they put the original Luigi's Mansion on from GameCube.
Oh, okay. Oh, gosh.
And then I think the year before that, or 2 years before that, they put the obviously Luigi's Mansion 3, which was an original to come out on Switch, and then now they've put the second one out, which was a 3DS game. So there you go. Well, the whole trilogy is now on Switch, I think.
Well, I've definitely played them all before, and I enjoyed them immensely. But now if I can have it HD on the Switch, I'm all for that. So yeah, I've got that. But like I said, it's my holiday game, and well, not big holiday, but holiday with the children, and we all know how Andy is. He has a very set routine, so I'll have late evenings sat with him playing this while he does Andrew things. And that's it. I finished the Notre Dame Lego. It took us a while, didn't it, Kevin? Kev.
Sorry, I'm muted because I've got my air conditioning back on because it's so hot in here. Yes, I have turned the air conditioning off again. I have returned.
I finished the Notre Dame, didn't I?
You did finish Notre Dame, yes.
How many hours is it?
It was 6 streams, so what's that? 18 hours.
Yep.
But I would suggest for someone not streaming and not having to constantly stop and talk and show people around the build, you're probably looking 12 to 15 hours probably to build it. It's quite fiddly,
Yeah,
fiddly and repetitive, yeah. But it's a long one and it does look awesome when it's done. And apparently is in the same scale as the Eiffel Tower set. So you could do yourself a little Paris for your living room.
It's good. They're good. Like, I just like I said, I've put before. I like Lego because I like with games. I have to think about it, but with Lego, I just have to look at it and then just put it together. Do you know what I mean? Like it with Assassin's Creed, you have to go right. Well, I need to go over there. Let's scale that wall. Let's jump over that thing. Let's go down. Like, do you know what I mean? I have to think about it. And then when you're going on your way, there's like little side things that you need to go on. Because there's a lot of stealing in Assassin's Creed, the Mirage one.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, it's basically a mini game. Like, you've got a diamond that comes up, and you have to press the button in a certain like space. Like, you have to go and get these medallions, and the space is like tiny. And if you miss, they will hit you. But yeah, just Lego. I could just look at it and go, okay, I need that colour. Put them colours together, and off we go. But I'm going to try my best this week to finish an Assassin's Creed game because I haven't finished one in such a long while because they are like I finished. Which one had Cassandra in?
Odyssey.
Yeah, that was Only Fools and Horses, not Assassin's Creed.
Well done.
Gosh.
Thank you.
I finished that. Well, I finished that one I finished the main game. I did not finish Atlantis. Like, I know what happens in Atlantis because I needed to know, so I looked up online because it was just so big. Like, it was massive. But the main game, I finished that. I didn't finish the one before that. I used to finish all the old ones because they were just, I wouldn't say small games, but they were back in the day where games weren't that long. But yeah, I'm going to try and finish this one and be ready for October, November, and just get some games finished because I am awful for just not finishing games. I have an attention span of a gnat sometimes, so I've spent too much on Lego. That's my problem. I'm looking at my room now and I'm like,
this bodes well in the run up to my birthday.
I've got no room for Lego. Your presents were already bought. Stop being mean.
All right then. Gonna say this is the one time a year you need to watch your spending so you can get me something exquisite.
You've seen the box that's been in the room for a month now. I do it well in advance, Kevin. Anyway, that's me. On to Mr. Pab.
Hello.
Who? Pabby?
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, Pabby.
Man chap, apparently.
I don't even know what that means.
But it's Chapman, so you're man chap.
Oh, no, but it's just, yeah.
Just fancied calling you it the other day, and
I don't even have a recollection of you calling it me, so that's what's confusing me. Right, what have I played? Well, I think FOMO got the better of me. I had to know what the Elden Ring DLC was.
I see.
I came. Well, a video came across one of my feeds somewhere, of a speedrunner showing you how to get to the Elden Ring DLC. Be ready for the Elden Ring DLC. So I was like, okay, so there's strats on how to do it, and to do it, I had to beat Radahn and Moog. And that was fine in itself. My issue was figuring out where they were and what I needed to do. So all I needed to do realistically was get shown, pointed in the right direction, So I did just that. But before that, all that, to do certain things in certain ways, you have certain items to unlock said things. So the Radahn, you have to get to Radahn's castle. And that resulted in me either having to go through the whole castle and fight a load of people to get to where I needed to be, or use a teleporter at the front of the castle, which will teleport you to where you need to be to fight him. The issue is the teleporter wasn't active because I'm like speed running, as it were. This game is because I'm over 300, level 300 now, and I don't really have a need to, because I'm playing on New Game Plus. If people didn't know, I'm playing on New Game Plus because I very foolishly restarted the game and I didn't need to. So I then have to. You need the medallion. There's 2 medallion pieces that you need to trigger a lift somewhere, and that will open the teleporter. So then I had to divert to then go figure out where the 2 medallions were, find them on the map, find them on some guide as to where these things were, find them on the map, go and find them. They were only like 2 little small castle type things. They weren't too difficult, to be fair. So when I got them, and I had to figure out where they went. They went into the lift at the Altus Plateau, put that in, went back to where Radahn's castle is, and the teleporter was on. Now it was like, now it's game time. Now I had to it was like, okay, now in the meantime, what was worrying me because it, like, to level up, it is like 850,000 souls or whatever it is per level. And upon doing all these things and doing the first 2 bosses and what have you, I had accrued about 650,000, and I didn't want to lose them. And that's very much what the Souls games are. For me, is always just the fear of losing all your gear, all your souls, and so anyway, in doing all these bits and pieces, I managed to get enough to level up. I managed to get up 1 level, so there wasn't as much fear in me losing them when I went into the Radahn fight. Okay. And I watched the speedrunner video for Radahn and was like, okay, this seems doable. I tried the strat immediately, failed. It didn't work. I was like, damn, this isn't what I wanted it to do. But then when all said and done, I pretty much just got underneath Radahn and just slashed at him with my magic sword, whatever it is called. I can't remember what it is now, but I have a magic sword ability, and I pretty much just cut him up into pieces. Floor. Yeah, pretty much. Excellent. First time, it wasn't worth worrying about. The end issue is that he gave me another stack of souls for me beating him. So now I'm back on the same thing of like, I don't want to lose these again now. Instead of me going into Radahn with like 1,700 souls, it's like just nothing. I now had another 200,000 on the go.
I thought it let you bank souls, but obviously
you would bank. Well, you would bank them normally by leveling up,
right?
But because I have stupidly overly leveled and made it impossible for me to ever level realistically again, it's impossible to, like, 200,000 souls to normal people would get you a few levels realistically. It wouldn't get you 1. It would get you probably 5 or 6 maybe. So then they had to go to do a similar sort of thing, a due process to get to Moog, which is where the DLC starts, is where Moog is. So you have to beat Moog and then the DLC is effectively open to you. But doing that, again, like I say, comes with another set of
rules.
set of series of events that I've got to do to get to it. I did all that, figured it out. Beat Moog on second try.
Oh, well
I want
done.
to say, which was fine. It wasn't too bad at all. And then that's it. I was into the DLC. I've not really done anything in the DLC. I come out the cave.
You just want to open it.
I came out the cave that you come out of, and you see all the big open world. You're like, wow, this is cool. I ran and got the first point of grace. Sat down, rested. Like, okay, I can have a breather now. I saw obviously now because it sends you to a new map sort of thing.
Yeah.
I haven't unlocked any of that map like the previous one. I had all the map unlocked. So now it's like back to like old, how it used to be for me playing Elden Ring, where I'm just very tentatively shuffling around, not knowing where things are, what's going on. Similarly
that's
to
what's fun about it, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's half the fun of these games. But similarly to the original Elden Ring, you come out of the cave and at like the start of Elden Ring, there's a big fella there that'll wipe the floor with you, and it just basically sets a standard. So in the DLC, there is some things there, and it did promptly beat the hell out of me. And I don't even think they're meant to be that difficult, them enemies, but apparently this DLC, the difficulty on the game is ramped up, and playing out New Game Plus apparently is like no joke. It will everything will mess you up, and So I managed to get the map piece, and I've wandered a little bit down to get the first Erdtree blessing or whatever it is. It's like there's like new items, and what they do is there's a finite number of them in the game, and every time you get one, or however many you get, you can scale up your abilities, and that's how you level up your abilities in this world. They don't mean anything once you come out of that world. So they are scaling up your abilities that way, rather than you. I don't know actually whether you can use the actual soul points to level up. I probably could, but anyway, the Erdtree seeds or whatever they are, I can't remember now. They were what will increase your stats exponentially. So I've got to go around and figure out where all they are now and get actually into it properly. I found there was loads of signs saying up to the right or something like that. Like hard enemy or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. I came back that way past him, and it's just a dude. And he looks like an invader. You know, like they've got a red net. They're all like sheened red, like a red sheen to them, and they've got a red title above a name. And he stomped me, wiped the floor with me as well. I was like, okay, so this is the guy. It's just a guy, and he just runs really fast at you, and he's got like kind of like claws, like similar to like Wolverine claws, like.
Oh gosh.
And he just beat the hell out of me. So I went, okay, I got my souls back and just ran away. I was like, we'll deal with you at some point in the future. When I figured out what I need to do with you. So yeah, I did it. I actually did what I didn't think I was going to do. I wasn't ever intending to. I thought I'd had my time with it, but
you have.
Like I say, as soon as it was me wanting to know, like, I was okay with just seeing what it was about. But once seeing the video that I saw of the speedrunner, seeing like what it is actually needed to do, it seemed doable. So I was like, okay, fine, let's give it a go. And it took me probably about an evening, realistically, just trying to figure it out and go through all the steps. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. What else have I played? I've played a game. I don't know if anyone's heard of Chained Together.
I've seen it, but I'm not playing it.
It's a new
Centipede.
Sorry?
Nothing.
No, it's not.
It's so have you heard of the game that was it last year? I want to say maybe Game Only Up. It might have been the year before. Where you have like a series of objects just up in the sky. You have to climb up and make your way
Oh,
up,
is it
and then
grow up or something? That sounds.
is it only up? It's only up that there's the
Okay.
game, and you have to climb up these assets, these like all these different just game assets,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're all just up in the sky, and you've got to work your way up there, and you can get knocked off things, and you fall to the ground, and you got to start again.
Yep.
So it's similar to that. It is in fact it is exactly that.
Okay.
But it's multiplayer, and you are chained to people. You're in hell, and you are chained together. And
by your wrists, isn't it? You've got there's you, the other person, and your wrists are chained together, and you've got to.
Is it wrists? Yeah, it sounds right. Seems
what
feasible.
I've seen of, yeah.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I thought ankles, but it could be wrists. I don't know. But anyway, whatever it is, yeah, you are chained up, and so you go along these little platforms and what have you, and you can fall off them quite easily because it's a bit. The controls are a bit all over the place sometimes. But like I say, it's not game over. Like I say, the second you fall off, there's a chance that your teammate or teammates, you can have up to 4 people playing it. I think I've played it with 3 people.
All to change together.
All chained together, all daisy chained together. Wow. That's chaos. So you can pull the chains and drag them back up. But
okay.
The momentum of someone falling off also will then kind of drag you off. If you're not prepared for it, you kind of got to wrestle yourself back, sort of thing, over the from over the ledge. So you can easily just get yanked off the side of things quite easily just because someone's fell off. So you can, like I say, pull people back up. And yeah, I had played about 20 minutes of it. The other night and played it, and we got about, like I say, played about 20 minutes worth and fell off. And I went, that's it. We're not doing that again. Nope. That's it. We're done for tonight. I'm not doing it again. We then found there's a beginner mode, which I want a beginner mode because it has checkpoints. So you get checkpoints where the highest point from where you were last if you fall off. Because I couldn't do the whole thing again. It just because of that, we then played another 2 hours because of that. The next night, if I had done 2 hours worth of work and fell off and had to start it again, I'd just be like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. Not doing that again. So yeah, it seems all right. It seems fun. I think we'll probably go back to it. And like I said, the game's £4. So it's all right for what it is. Seems pretty good. Fun little multiplayer game to be getting on with.
Is this only on Steam, or is it?
Yes, it will be. I don't know whether it'll be. I imagine if it's successful, they might port it to something like a Switch, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't seem massively, graphically intensive for what it was. Just all like hell themed kind of things. It seemed all right from what it was. It seemed okay. And yeah, like I say, I'll probably play more of it because it seemed all right for what it was. I've been playing the new game mode in Fortnite Reload, which appears to me, I think, it's a smaller map. It's like the OG map, but like shrunk down and adjusted slightly. So you've got like tilted towers and Pleasant Park, I think it is, or whatever it is, and some of the old locations all thrown to this smaller map. I think there's only like 40 people in the game rather than 100.
Okay.
And it's been like, there's no solos in the game. The games came out, I want to say, at the end of last week, that mode, but it was only squads only. It was four people only. Okay. This week they've reduced it. I think they do trios and duos now as well. So I've been playing duos, but so more often than not, it's me who dies first because the person I play with is good.
Yeah.
If I die, there's a 10-second cooldown and I respawn. So I can get back into the game. And that goes on until the final bits of the game, and then it comes up with like a timer going, you've got a minute and a half, and then respawning's off. But because it's like smaller and constant respawning. It is just kind of mayhem all the time. It's just like this because it's like the smaller things. Everyone's going to the named locations because that's where the guns are. So it's packed all the time wherever everything is. So you're constantly fighting. I think you probably, because we're playing zero build in this mode as well, you need cover. So you need like bunkers or bubbles or something to you can get caught in. Because when you're running across like fields, there's always people around. You're just going to get gunned down. So you need probably a bit of mobility with some bouncers or a grappler and some sort of cover like bunkers. But there's also, like I say, it's because it's the old map, it's the old guns as well. It's all the old guns, so it's kind of reminiscent as well. It seems all right for what it is. I'll probably play it a few more times, but I don't want to. I feel like it'll take some doing for me to just learn all the guns again if I keep just playing this mode. I don't think it's permanent fixed. It might be eventually, but I think it's just a limited time event. So yeah, I just want to get.
But they
back
do
to
that, don't they? They
Yes.
put things out there. If people find it entertaining, then they keep it, don't they? That's what I've.
Well, that's it.
seen.
That's exactly right. I mean, it depends how massively popular it will be. I don't think it'll replace the other thing. I think it might influence what they do with the next season. Whether they put the reload like feature into regular Fortnite, because I mean the respawning thing is kind of a thing that was in Call of Duty Warzone, where you could go into the gulag once you die, and if you win the gulag fight, you get respawned back in.
Okay.
So it is very much something that has been done in other games before. And then obviously you can get you do. So I suppose you'd respawn. You can get respawned in Fortnite at the reload van, however it is. Anyway, but it just happens automatically. Like, so you have a 10-second cooldown and you just come back. So yeah, it seems all right for what it is. And the other thing I've played is a Lego game.
Oh.
Yeah, Lego 2K Drive.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've heard of it.
It is interesting. It is very interesting. It reminds me a little bit of Forza Horizon. Mixed with Diddy Kong Racing.
Okay.
It plays like it controls and stuff, not like a Forza game. It controls more like a Mario Kart-esque thing. It's probably like in between the two. It's not all the way Mario Kart, but it's very much more arcaded than something like a Forza. And when you drive down your roads and stuff in your Lego car, and you go onto the dirt, your car transforms into a quad bike, and then you jump into the water, it transforms into a boat, and then you're racing on boats, similar to what you would do in. Was it Diddy Kong that did that, or was it the Sonic All Stars Racing? I think it was that Sonic All Stars Racing that did that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So it does a lot of that. But what is interesting, it's not one massive open world. It's like sort of like quarter of like the open world, I feel, of like a Forza game, and they're like hub worlds more or less. And every time you get a certain thing, you can go off to another hub world, and it's a different setting, it's a different biome. And you just drive around it, and it's similar to Forza Horizon. You just drive around, and there's just some things there for you to do, some quests for you to do, some fetch quests for you to do, some races for you to do, some like just random, like similar to like speed camera checks or jumps that you can do in Forza Horizon, but it's all Lego based. And what kind of blew my mind is when you go to the garage, I was like, oh, you go to the garage, you can pick your car and stuff. You can build your car. You can just build a car. I was like, okay, it's going to give me all these parts. That here's like the base. Here's the four wheels. Here's the frame that you put on, and then you can spray it a color or something like that. You can pick what color the seats are or something like that. It literally gives you blocks, and you just put the blocks on and make a car. I was like, that is insane. you
That's
can
cool.
you can have your car, any car you want. You can build and put it in the game.
I know
so
if you buy this from game, you get an exclusive Lego car with it.
Oh, there you go. See, there you go.
Yeah.
I got it on the. It was on the latest Humble Monthly.
No,
So
okay.
I got it on there. So I got it from that. It seemed all right. Like I say, it always looked okay from everything I saw. It came out. I want to say last year.
Yeah.
Maybe the end of 2022. But it always seemed okay for what it was. And like I say, it plays absolutely fine. It's like Forza Horizon.
But Lego.
If it played a bit more like Mario Kart, the way it drove. But it seems absolutely fine for what I was doing. It's got some very much Lego humor. It's all voice spoken and what have you.
Has it got a hot dog in it?
I've not seen a hot dog. I've seen a donut car.
Okay.
I've not seen a hot dog yet. There's a Monkey Monkey is one of the people you speak to, which is someone who runs a garage. Her uncle is a monkey, and he's called Unky Monkey.
Of course he is.
So I spoke to him for a bit. I haven't played a ton of it, but I just played it yesterday, and I thought this seems quite fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I might play some more of that. Like I say, I've been playing Forza Horizon a lot recently, so I might start doing some more of this stuff. So who knows? We shall see. And other than that, I think that is everything. Yeah, nothing else written down here. I've done it all. I've done it a lot.
In that case, we'll wrap things up there, boys and girls. If you want to pester us on the internet, you can do that at Mgukpodcast, or you can follow me at Lelujo.
And you can find me at RB6K.
I'm Miss Lelujo.
And I'm Pab1986.
And we'll see you next week, boys and girls.
I won't. I'm away. Have a good week.
Should have led with that. People definitely would have come back next week then for a treat.
Bye,
Thanks for listening,
everyone.
folks. Bye-bye.